and welcome to About Last Night. I'm Felicity Cross, The Sun's Deputy TV Editor, and I'm here on Australia's Gold Coast bringing you all the news and views on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Now, I'm back with you as the unofficial chair lady of the Tony Bellew fan club. I thought another brilliant episode for him. It's really hard to see how he won't make the final three at this stage, if not win. I think he's just got everything that you look for in a campmate. He's not got that sort of like obvious appealing for votes kind of side to him. Everything just comes across as so genuine and natural, and he gives such good trial, doesn't he? So today with Ant and Dec, just the banter, the dry attitude that he has. He obviously came out of that snake in the Eaten Alive trial saying, "Are you not entertained?" And I think we can all agree we were. Let me know what you think about Tony. Some people might prefer more of the Sam Thompson, Josie, good-natured, silly vibe, whereas Tony's a bit more sort of witty and dry, isn't he? Which I know isn't everyone's cup of tea. But for me, he's smashing it. Hard to see at this point how we're not going to get a King of the Jungle. However, on to silliness in camp, and for me, the sing-along, "I Love You Baby," was just lovely, because the thing is, I think that sometimes in the pursuit of drama or, these challenging trials, it's forgotten that sometimes we want to see people just having a nice time. And let's not forget, they are in Australia, and yes, the weather's been awful, but obviously now the weather getting better is just glorious. So it was great to see them all having a nice time. And the jungle weight loss is starting to kick in, isn't it? In some of them, you can see it. Some are a bit more worrying than others. Obviously, Danielle was very thin before, as was Frankie. But hey, everyone always talks about the weight loss retreat of the jungle, don't they? So good to see them all having a fun time. Have to say, we then cut to Nella, who's just chilling in her camp bus. Obviously now as camp leader, she has access to that tour bus, just chilling in there by herself. Nella's definitely a campmate that we're going to be talking about for a while. She's been involved in drama and rows, but she's also just brought something really different to camp, which I think is what we need. Let's not forget that TV does need that new audience. You know, it's not just people like me and my parents and grandparents who are watching soaps and all that kind of thing. We do need that younger audience to start to become involved in TV. And certainly everyone's sitting around at home watching, the younger people who just watch YouTube and who just watch TikTok. Having someone like Nella there is important for that. So let's not forget that in among all the drama. Now, you can always count on Nigel Farage for bringing some sort of outside world context or revelation into the camp. And today it was the House of Lords. Now, for me, the real standout is that toast costs 5p. 5p. When the rest of the country is struggling and, on their knees using food banks, the fact that the House of Lords is letting its peers go in there and have to pay 5p for a piece of toast when some people can't even afford, a loaf of bread for their family. It blows my mind. Now, this isn't the forum for any kind of political debate, but certainly some of the revelations, that some of the peers themselves call it the best retirement home in the country, that they can just arrive, get their £300 a day, be fed very cheaply, some sort of delicious food that they'd enjoy. I'm sure it will have made a lot of people feel very angry who are tuning into I'm a Celebrity. Now, great that Nigel's shone a bit of a spotlight on that, but a bit difficult because Nigel's kind of in that camp, isn't he? He's not necessarily doing anything around the reform of the House of Lords. We know Nigel for his work on immigration and for Brexit, and more recently the banks and that kind of thing. But I think that this is an area of politics that everyone would agree needs looking at. It's outrageous that we have this group of people who just rock up every day, make maybe one decision that, let's face it, they probably aren't that entrenched in, and then are fed on delicious food for 5p. It's appalling. So for everyone that's sort of debating fees for I'm a Celebrity, I know that Nigel's 1.5 million rumoured fee have been an issue, but you know, this is a topic that we should all be really digging into. So well done ITV for showing that one, because it's important we all talk about that more. And finally, we've got news of the first eviction. Now, this was delayed, as we know, because of the 2 quitters. There was no need for anyone to leave camp because they were already leaving camp. So we've got our first eviction coming up. The vote opened on last night's show, and the first celebrity will be kicked out tonight, so Sunday night show. So it'll be interesting to hear from them. I cannot call who it's going to be. Usually there's quite a clear sort of campmate who's been incredibly divisive, or who is less popular, or, you know, one of those vanilla campmates that isn't really doing anything. Now, I know there was a lot of talk about it surely being Nella Rose, but let's not forget it's vote to save, not vote to evict. Now, Nella has a very active fan base. You know, some 3 million in total across all of her digital channels, and they will all be voting to save her. She has a whole YouTuber influencer army, a lot of her friends online, so Chunks, Philly, Chloe Burrows, you know, they're big personalities, and they're all tweeting and sort of Instagramming in support of Nella. So it's likely she is going to have a real boost in viewers voting for her just because of that. So I'd be very surprised if it was Nella. I think we could be looking at an upset of someone like Frankie Dettori, who has been quite quiet in camp. And yes, he's hugely loved, but does he necessarily have the kind of fan base who will be voting for him? That's what you have to think in these situations. You know, the likes of Josie, even Marvin to a certain extent, have those active fan bases who are going to be voting. So it will be very interesting to see. We could end up losing someone unexpected who you would assume would be safe. So we'll catch up on that this time tomorrow. I've been Felicity Cross, Deputy TV Editor of The Sun. This has been About Last Night, and I'll see you tomorrow.